Chess is already complicated enough on its own. It doesn't need us to help it. And I've been doing that. I've been overcomplicating things. I've been focusing on chess psychology and tilt and, um, man, missing this, calculation or that calculation. And I think I've just been overthinking a lot of it. And so I'm going to play in today's game. I'm just going to not try to overthink it. I'm not going to think too much about, ratings and all that stuff. Of course, I don't want to think about ratings because it's kind of a sore subject for me at the moment. So I'm just going to play, as best as I can. And here we go. So good. I love when I get an opening that is not super recognizable to me. All right, so already I've not even been able to develop my pieces yet, but already I could see that he's fighting for this square right here, right in the center. Now I also know I should not play this f6 is a big no-no, right? And so how can I, defend this? One idea is I could just go ahead and take on e4. And then if takes, then takes. And, he has the pawn in the center. I have the pawn in the center. I think I'm going to do that. So I don't know if that's the best thing to do in this setting. But no, I'm not going to take back or I will just simply lose. So I'm going to develop my pieces. And here we go. So I feel like I have a pretty decent little center right now. My development's pretty good. All right, he's attacking this pawn. And so I already have, my queen here, but I'll just go ahead and bring up my knight. And all right, so now it looks like he is gunning for my knight. And if he moves his knight here, if he takes my knight with his bishop, and then I have to take back, I've kind of messed with my pawn structure, but also at the same time, is it worth me bringing my bishop all the way back again? I don't know if it is. And so I think what I'm going to do is just not waste my time there and just develop my pieces. So if he takes, I'm just going to take right back, and then I'm going to castle, and should be good. All right. I'm castling on my king side anyways, so I am not totally, concerned about that. All right. I think I'm going to go here. All right. And now I'm going to bring my rook just to be looking right down the barrel of his queen. I don't want to avoid what he's doing, but also at the same time, I'm not going to be too worried about it. If he pushes this pawn again, I'm actually going to push my pawn here just to stop the nonsense, right? Okay. So one idea is I could kind of let out this discovered attack on his queen, and I don't want to overthink it, but if this, then maybe something like this, or even like this. And then if takes, he'll probably just take back. So nothing really of consequence by doing that move. And is there any other tactics here that I could be overlooking? Not that I see. So let's just go ahead and do that for now. Okay. And I could bring my my bishop here again, and then I guess he'll just move here, right? Let's do that. Well, no, that would blunder John. Easy. That would blunder a piece. So, okay, here's an idea. I move knight here. He takes back with the knight. I take back, and it's a fork on, let's do that, on his knight and on his queen. So, let's see. And if he moves his other knight, then, I win his rook. So, this really isn't any, it looks almost like I'm pinning him, but I'm not pinning him. All right, so he bit. He took the bait. Okay. Um, Now, one idea is I just go ahead and take, and then if he takes here, I still take the rook. And if I take here and he takes back, I could bring down my bishop. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so, and is there anything else I could do besides just retreat? Let's just retreat. And now if he wins this pawn, I can win it right back. And if he doesn't take, I can actually just take his pawn. Okay, so any problems here? Not that I see. All right, now I got to remember, I got to keep in mind. All right, so he could win this pawn. That is a thing. That is real. I'm just going to stop him in his tracks there. And he may want to go ahead and take this pawn, and if he does, I do have a check. He doesn't seem super interested in this pawn. And, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any tactics here with this like discovered check thing, but there's nothing really to uncover. I mean, I could give this check. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do about that. I kind of just want to retreat, and I feel like maybe that's the best play here. He's attacking my rook, so I mean I could either go here, which doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, I guess it does apply pressure on this pawn. I can't take here because he's got it guarded 3 times. I guess I could just drop my rook all the way back, but that feels like the wrong direction. I don't know, man. I kind of want to go here. And I'm thinking about setting up this like setting up this discovered attack where I can put my bishop here and then maybe try to just win his queen with check. Maybe that's an idea. I mean, I also probably need to bring my queen up here just to protect this pawn. This pawn I've just not been guarding and I've just been neglecting it. And so at any point in time, he could just win that pawn. He did. He does win the pawn. So, okay. So now I can continue with my original plan, which is just bringing my bishop here, x-raying his king, and then I still could potentially, if he does, if he falls for it, I could still, win a queen. He is attacking here. He's attacking, where else is he attacking? I don't see anywhere else. So I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with that plan for now. Okay. So he's not an idiot. And now I'm just going to what's a good play here? I have to make sure he's looking at my rook. So I need to, remember that my queen is guarding my rook. I could move my rook here to have this file, but I mean it's guarded twice, so there's not really anything there yet. Let's just push this pawn for now. And if he moves this queen, I mean I can at least potentially win this pawn. And okay. It's an interesting move. Let's just do that. And now I have a feeling he's going to move. Okay, that does not scare me at all. So now what I'm kind of thinking about is let's just do this first. I see. So he's looking at this. What he's thinking about doing is now moving this pawn And so what I'm thinking about, yeah, I could do this. This pawn is not protecting because the pawn is pinned to my king. However, if he moves this pawn, I'm going to capture his bishop. Okay. Interesting. Let's see if there's a tactic here, because he has 1, 2, 3 pieces guarding this pawn. But if I go takes, that would be a fail. That would be a mess. Okay, so let's not do that. Unless I bring up this rook here. Now looking at, yeah, because this guy's actually not, I mean, he's not even protected at all. So I guess what he can't go here. He could potentially go here. I think I'm just gonna do this for right now. I don't know if this is a bad move or not, but I'm also really low on time, and so yeah, my time is just not great right now. And all right, so I think I have this. I do have a check, and then, I mean, that would be mate if I could get to that point. I have a feeling he's not going to let me. I'm going to go for it. I know this is a little bit risky, but I'm going for it. And if he wins that pawn, I'll let him have that pawn. This pawn on the A file. If he comes here, then what? Then I do have this check. Okay, so I can at least give him a check. Which, you know, I could potentially trade now. I mean, I guess, okay, if I take and then he takes, I can take this guy, and then that's as good as mate. That is mate. So he has to move his rook. Oh man, he gives it to me. Good game. All right, so 2 mistakes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and review this game, and it does feel nice to win after many losses. So I'm going to review this and just kind of see, you know, what were my misses, what were my mistakes, blunders, if there were any blunders. So I did have a blunder. I did have 3 mistakes against his 4. I had 1 miss. And so let's just go ahead and review. So that game was interesting, right? I just kind of took the center. He kind of gave it to me. This was all very principled at this point, I feel. Yeah, feeling pretty good about the opening. And up to that point, that was a great move for him. It didn't like that. Why? It wanted me instead to just save my my bishop, and then on his next move, he's still pinned to the rook. See, I should have been patient. I could have first done this, and then he needs to do some move. Yeah, like the computer's telling him to move his pawn. But I do see why. Because this guy is still pinned, and he still can't move him, and I still could just win it with a pawn. And instead, I took with my bishop, which resulted in just like trades instead of me winning material, which is unfortunate. So, okay, this was also a mistake. It did not like this. It wanted me rather. All right, so that was good. He moved there. I should have moved my queen, given him a check. He would have moved here. And then what? Okay, and then offer a queen trade. Yeah, that'd have been an interesting thing if I'd offered a. Let's see, if he would have taken the queen trade, and I take back. the evaluation bars got me up by half a point, 0.6. So, but instead I did that, and then that was an inaccuracy. It wanted me instead to retreat, just to here though, not all the way back. Probably just to prevent, this like X-ray thing that he's doing on my king, because that makes this pawn useless. And I actually lost a game earlier today that I was not recording for, but where his queen was pinning this against my king, this pawn, and then he had a rook here, and his rook came over, and I was like, oh yeah, I just win it back, and I couldn't, and it was unfortunate, and I ended up losing the game. And so paying attention to pin pieces is super important. That was kind of a lame discovery idea, but I figured at this level maybe it's possible, but it wasn't gonna happen. That was a wasted move. In fact, that move took me from being down 1.5 to almost 2 points, almost 3 points actually. Instead, what it wanted me to do was just move my queen over, just to protect my rook. And yeah, so interesting. What would have happened if, so when I did that, let's see what would have happened. The trade idea. It's a show trade idea. So there was that. Okay, and then this is to protect from, the queen giving me this little battery. Okay, so that was also a lame effort. It did not like that, which is super interesting to me, because I would have blundered this piece if I did what it is telling me to do. It's telling me to move here. Oh no, it's not a blunder. So they say the best way to prevent an attack is to attack with maybe a greater threat, and that's what this would have done. And so yeah, then he's borderline. Well, he's not going to get his queen trapped. He would have had to move his queen somewhere, but it's just a retreat idea, and did not like this either. It still wants me to protect my rook, and I didn't. But all right, at this point, his queen moves there. That's a blunder. Okay, so interesting blunder. Let's see the follow-up for that blunder, because then he goes here. Ah, I see it. I would have lost the other rook. The second he moves his pawn here, he's now attacking me not once, but twice. And these are hard to see in the moment. I did not see it. I was just thinking bringing another, attacker / defender on this d4 square, and the second he moves it down, he's attacking here. He's attacking here, which is protected by my queen, but I still would have lost a rook. So yeah. Anyways, all right, so let's go back into the analysis. So this was good. That was a good check. Allowed me to win material, and then he blew it. Yeah, he was trying to attack here, remove the defender of my rook, even though he's already attacking my rook. But he just missed the fact that his other rook was completely undefended, and that's mate, because he can't move on the first rank, and he can't move to this square. So anyways, I'm still currently below 1100, so I'm trying to climb back, but one game at a time, and just slowing down. I did really bad on time on that game. I noticed my time was bad, and somebody in the comments recently said that playing slower isn't necessarily the solve to bad time management. I either play too fast or I play too slow, and you need to just play more intentionally and deliberate. So if you can make a fast move, make a fast move. If there is something that you need to calculate, take your time. And don't take your time when you know you can make a fast move, but also being able to discern those two different scenarios is probably the problem I'm still trying to sort through. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you next time.